Seaside community on Auckland's North Shore is stepping up its fight against the development of a very large retirement village. Ryman Healthcare's plan to build the 600-bed complex in the suburb of Devonport has already been granted consent by Auckland Council, but a group of residents has now lodged an appeal with the Environment Court challenging the development. Joanna Mackenzie reports.
The 4.2 hectare site lies between Devonport's Ngātaringa Road and regenerating native bush on the edge of Ngātaringa Bay, with views towards North Head, Mount Victoria and over the Waitemata Harbour to the city. The land is owned by Ngāti Whātua and has been leased to Ryman Healthcare, New Zealand's largest retirement village operator, for 150 years. At the site, Devonport local Trish Dean says no one is against the project. The problem is the sheer bulk and scale of it.
It's such a beautiful site. Any proposal should reflect that rather than be an institutional series of blocks. So that's really the residents' main concern. Everyone's okay about the fact that there should be a retirement centre here. That's absolutely fine, but it's how it's done.
Trish Deans is part of the newly formed Devonport Peninsula Precinct Society, which lodged the appeal. Another member, Ian Ray, says the project is bigger than the 3-storied buildings they were expecting.
Up to 6 stories with overlapping buildings for effectively 2 residential blocks, creating a very vast wall on the edge of Ngātaringa Bay.
The complex will include a 120-bed hospital, 195 apartments and 78 assisted living suites, as well as a car park for 269 vehicles. 300 people submitted against the plans at a hearing panel last year, with 75 in favour. One of the 3 commissioners on the hearing panel, urban planner David Sargent, wanted to refuse consent, but it was passed with a split decision. Ian Ray says Mr Sargent's dissenting view gives them grounds to appeal.
Things like design and bulk of the buildings and visual dominance, and you have to balance those against the intensification. Well, in this application, according to Sargent, Ryman have taken no account of those, or not enough account of those issues of bulk and dominance.
A local architect, Jeff Richard, agrees that the Ryman complex won't blend in and is unsympathetic with the environment.
The solidity and the unrelieved nature of this development prevents it looking significantly different from, say, a prison.
Locals are also concerned about the impact of extra traffic on the only road into the peninsula, Lake Road. But Trish Dean says, unbelievably, neither the council or commissioners were interested in the impact on what is already one of Auckland's worst bottlenecks. Ian Ray says Ryman's had offered to reduce the size of the development, but the commissioners ignored the offer. He wants that point addressed during the appeal process, which he hopes will form a precedent for future large developments in Auckland.
If this decision stands, it looks like we're heading back to post-war Britain, where we build huge housing estates that you later have to tear down 30 years later because you've created slums.
The managing director of Ryman, Simon Challies, says he's disappointed the consent is being appealed, but remains committed to building in Devonport. He says there's huge interest from potential residents, and Ryman is confident the issues raised in the appeal can be worked through quickly. In Auckland for Checkpoint, called Joanna Mackenzie, 10A.